Once upon a time in the bustling city of Accra, there lived a young man named Quame. Quame was known throughout the city for his intelligence and his love for beautiful things. But what he loved the most were stories. He would spend hours upon hours listening to the old folks tell tales of bravery, trickery, and magic. Enraged, the old woman cursed them, saying that one day they would need Anansi's help and he would not be there to save them because they had shown him disrespect. Then, with a flick of her wrist, she vanished into thin air. One day, while walking home from the market, Quame heard a group of children gathered around an old woman who was telling them a story. Quame, however, was not so quick to dismiss the story as silly. But as soon as he touched it, the forest came alive and tried to prevent him from taking the spinneret. On the contrary, he believed that there was some truth to the old woman's story and that Anansi was more than just a spider. Together, they managed to escape with the spinneret and return to the village. But Quame refused, saying that he had earned it fairly. The gods, realizing that they could not take it from him by force, devised a plan to trick him into giving it up. Just when it seemed like he might win, they threw him off balance by bringing out the beautiful Princess Abina. Quame, distracted by her beauty, lost focus and made a mistake. The gods pounced on him and took away the spinneret. They sent a messenger to Quame, challenging him to a game of wit. He stopped to listen, and the old woman, noticing him, beckoned with a finger for him to come closer. But if he lost, he would have to give them the entire spinneret. Quame, confident in his own intelligence, accepted the challenge. So instead of destroying him, they offered him a compromise. But Anansi, sensing Quame's sadness, offered to go with him to help him find the AK band, and so their journey continued. They would return the spinneret if he could bring them the legendary Akaban, a magical horn that could call upon the spirits of the forest. The story she was telling was about Anansi, the trickster spider, and how he acquired the golden spinneret, a magical tool that allowed its user to create gold from thin air. The children were enthralled by the story, but when the old woman finished, they all laughed at her for wasting their time with such a silly tale. The children, now scared and ashamed, apologized to the old woman, but she was already gone. Determined to find out the truth, Quame went to the village elder and asked him about Anansi. The village elder, who was also the priest of the tribe, told Quame that Anansi was not just a spider, but a trickster god who lived in the forest. He explained that the golden spinneret was a powerful artifact that Anansi used to trick the other gods. Quame, now more determined than ever, set out into the forest to find Anansi and get his help in acquiring the golden spinneret. After many days of searching, he finally found Anansi in his web and explained to him why he needed the spinneret. Anansi, impressed by Quame's determination, agreed to help him, but warned him that the journey would be long and dangerous. With Anansi's help, Quame was able to avoid the traps set by the other gods and eventually reached the place where the spinneret was hidden. In the ensuing battle, Quame was almost defeated, but just when all hope seemed lost, Anansi intervened and saved him. When the other gods heard that Quame had acquired the spinneret, they were furious and demanded that he give it back. If Quame won, the gods would give him half of the spinneret's power, and so the game began. The gods posed riddle after riddle to Quame, but he answered each one correctly. Now, although Quame had lost the game, the gods were impressed by his intelligence and determination. Realizing that this was another trick to take the spinneret from him, Quame hesitated. To be continued in part 2, thank you for watching and see you next time. Like and subscribe for part 2.